from the 14th to the 20th of July 1914. The formulation of the ultimatum of death. How did Austria create a document designed to be rejected? I'm Soldier Peter, and I'll show you the most treacherous document in the history of diplomacy. From the 14th to the 20th of July 1914, Austrian diplomats are formulating an ultimatum with a single purpose: to be rejected. This is not an attempt to resolve the crisis, it's a pretext for war. And every word of this document will cost thousands of lives. On the morning of July 14, a special commission gathers at the Austrian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Berchtold is personally leading it. The task is clear: to write an ultimatum to Serbia that appears reasonable but is in fact impossible to fulfill. It has to be strict enough for Serbia to reject it, but not so absurd that Europe would see Austrian aggression. This is a diplomatic deception at the highest level. The first draft is too mild. Conrad protests. If Serbia accepts the ultimatum, there will be no war. And Conrad wants war. The second draft is too aggressive. Berchtold rejects it. If the ultimatum looks like a declaration of war, Britain and France will support Russia immediately. The third draft is perfect. It seems reasonable, but it demands something that no sovereign state could accept. On the evening of July 15th, a key moment arrives. Austrian lawyers draft the sixth point of the ultimatum. Austrian officials will have the right to investigate the assassination directly on Serbian territory and arrest Serbian citizens without the permission of the Serbian government. This is in effect the abolition of Serbian sovereignty. No country in the world could accept that. And that's exactly why that point is there. On July 16th, Berchtold meets with the German ambassador Tschirschky. He shows him the draft of the ultimatum. Tschirschky is in shock. He tells Berchtold that such an ultimatum will lead to a world war. Berchtold calmly replies that this is exactly the purpose. Germany promised support, and now it has to keep its word. Tschirschky sends a desperate telegram to Berlin. He warns that Austria is dragging Germany into the abyss. Bethmann ignores the telegram. On July 17th, Austrian ministers receive a report from their agents in St. Petersburg. Russia is mobilizing railway transport towards the Austrian border. This is a clear sign that Russia is preparing for war. Instead of stopping the Austrians, it only strengthens their resolve. Conrad says, "We must attack before the Russians are ready." Time is working against us. On July 18th, the final version of the ultimatum is presented to Emperor Franz Joseph. The old monarch reads it with a heavy heart. He knows that this document means the end of his empire, but he no longer has the strength to stand up to Berchtold and the generals. He signs the ultimatum with the words, "May God protect Austria-Hungary." He has no idea that in 4 years his empire will no longer exist. On July 19th, the final preparations begin for delivering the ultimatum. The Austrian ambassador in Belgrade, Baron Giesel, receives his instructions. He must deliver the ultimatum to the Serbian Foreign Minister Pasic in person and demand a response within 48 hours. If Serbia does not accept all the points without exception, Austria will break off diplomatic relations and begin mobilization. This is, in effect, a declaration of war. On the evening of July 20th, Giesel receives a special order from Vienna. He must not deliver the ultimatum until French President Poincaré has left St. Petersburg. Why? Because Poincaré is on a state visit to the Tsar, and Austria does not want France and Russia to be able to coordinate their response immediately. The war is being planned down to the last detail, like a business transaction. During this week, Austrian citizens are paying taxes for the normal running of the state. They have no idea that their money is funding the preparation of an ultimatum that will destroy their lives. Czechs in Prague are paying taxes, Hungarians in Budapest are paying the CAA. Austrians in Vienna are funding the state administration. And all that money is being turned into preparations for a war that none of them approved and no one knows about. The worst part of the whole process is the complete absence of any attempt at a real solution. Austria could have demanded an international investigation of the assassination, could have demanded that Serbia ban the Black Hand, could have offered a compromise. Instead, it created a document whose sole purpose was to be rejected and to provide a pretext for war. Berchtold would later write in his memoirs that he believed in a quick victory over Serbia and that Russia would not risk a major war over a small Balkan country. He was wrong about everything. Serbia held out for more than a year. Russia mobilized immediately, and instead of a quick local war, a 4-year global apocalypse ensued. But in July 1914, Berchtold still believes he is a genius who will solve all the monarchy's problems with a single stroke. The most tragic irony of the entire week is the fact that if Austria had truly wanted a peaceful solution, it could have achieved it. The Serbian government was willing to compromise, the European powers were prepared to mediate, and even Russia signaled that it would not support Serbian intransigence. But Austria does not want peace, it wants war, and it formulates the ultimatum precisely in order to get that war. July 21st will be the day the ultimatum is delivered. The day when words turn into actions and preparations become reality. 7 days spent drafting the most infamous diplomatic document in history are coming to an end, but its consequences will last 100 years and kill tens of millions of people. If you liked the videos and the whole series, please give a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. And if you have any thoughts on the topic, feel free to share them in the comments. Soldier Peter.